The fifth South African Investment Conference kicks off today and President Cyril Ramaphosa opened it. The conference is part of South Africa's expanding efforts to grow domestic and international investment, but it comes at a time when the country is experiencing rolling blackouts which impact negatively on economic growth and job creation. And just a reminder, currently we're on stage 6. Let's go to eNCA's senior reporter Siphamandla Goge, who's covering that story for us. He joins us live. Sipa, just talk to us about Ramaphosa's plan to address the energy crisis.
Well, the president says there is an action plan in place to address the energy crisis, but that is the song he's been singing since 2018. Yep. Every time there's an investment summit, he has to unpack and tell investors that he's addressing, or his administration is addressing, the energy crisis. It's one of those things that is spoiling the party for the president. He would have wanted to come to this 5th edition of the investment summit with positive news, but yesterday ESCOM said, hang on, it's not going to happen. We are still dealing with stage 6 load shedding, but we'll get into that a bit. Let's just get some more reaction from Minister Thoko Didiza, responsible for agricultural development and land affairs. Thank you very much for your time. Let's talk about this investment summit and opportunities in the agricultural sector in particular. For any investment to take place, whether physical or financial, you need land. Do you have land parcels, and what are the opportunities that are there for investment in your sector in particular, which is key for economic growth and job creation?
I must say that land resources are very important for agricultural sector, and we do have underutilized land, some of which had been released through restitution, where there are possibilities of partnership with communities in terms of investment. Secondly, our communal areas are actually good opportunities for growth in terms of investment. If you look at the Eastern Seaboard, for instance, which will take your KwaZulu-Natal as well as the Eastern Cape, large areas where we can actually open up new investment opportunities on the grains, on the livestock, on wool and mohair production, particularly in the Eastern Cape, very ready for investment. And in the machinery production, we import a lot of machinery in the agricultural sector, and there are opportunities for actually locating in South Africa in terms of investments in that area, as well as the irrigation infrastructure. So those are the areas, in my view, that are very important. Citrus, horticulture still remain one of the important areas for investment in addition to livestock.
South Africa needs each and every investment that it can get to ensure food security in this country, especially with the ongoing war between Ukraine and Russia.
Precisely. One of the things that we have done is to make sure that we support your subsistence farmers, because they are key for household food security. Farmer support, particularly to our smallholder farmers, we have actually supported the sugar small-scale farmers to be able not to miss their production and season, given the impact, as you say, of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, where a lot of our companies were either importing fertilizer from there. So that intervention has been critical to ensure that the sector does not miss its time.
Minister Thoko Didiza, thank you very much for your time. They're reflecting on investment opportunities that are there in the agricultural sector. This is what President Cyril Ramaphosa had to say about what his administration is doing to address the energy crisis, which continues to be a major challenge for many investors. Remember, the IMF has revised South Africa's potential growth outlook to 0.1%. One of the leading factors for that decision is the issue of the instability when it comes to the energy crisis. Take a listen to the president.
The 4 investment conferences that have taken place to date have attracted 1.14 trillion rand in investment pledges. We expect that the investment announcements made here today will take this total beyond the target that we set 5 years ago. You watch this space today, and you will see how we will go beyond what we achieved in 4 years. While investment decisions often take several years to reach fruition, The investment commitments made to date have already resulted in substantial investment in the productive economy of our country. Almost 70% of the total number of projects announced since 2018 are either completed or on their way to completion. To date, approximately 460 billion of capital has been invested in new building factories, purchasing equipment, constructing roads, sinking mine shafts, and rolling out broadband infrastructure.
All right, let's take you to a short ad break. In fact, thank you very much, Siphamandla Goge.